Hi everybody, I'm Teresa Perrin and I started this channel because I wanted to help educate retail traders on what to look for in the stock market and how to spot, a movement in one direction or the other. And guys, I feel like through my teaching, I'm not the best teacher. So please keep that in mind, but I promise to do my best to try to explain it to you. If there's something that I can do differently that you think would be helpful, please feel free to reach out in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. And I'll do my best to try to be able to teach to you guys on a level that everybody can understand. So I'm going to try to use terminology that you understand. If it's a term that I think you may not be aware of, I'm going to try to teach you that term. And I'm just going to try to make it so that the average person can understand what I'm saying, even somebody that has no idea what the stock market is. So today I found a teaching opportunity that I said was worth my time making a video on. And that was because we saw a breakout in GHSI. That's G as in golf, H as in hotel, S as in Sierra, I as in India. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw this morning I put out a tweet saying to keep an eye on the stock. And it wasn't because I'm a rocket scientist and I can just time the market perfectly, guys. Not at all. It's because I saw a trend that was getting closer and closer that I'm going to show you in this video. And I had a feeling that it was either today or any day now, and it was just worth the time to start talking about it again. And this is a stock that I had been following since March, okay? So this can take time to build, guys. And this stock has channeled for a very long time, which is why I feel it's worth bringing it to your attention. I'm going to put out a video on it, specifically like my normal video set that I do, so that you understand why it's worth watching. But in this video, I want you to see what I'm looking at technically, and I'm going to show you the trend lines and everything else I'm looking at to spot a breakout. And the technical analysis is very important, as well as volume. And I almost left a big chunk of the volume out. I mentioned it in the first part, in the video, the main video, but I added a spot in there to show you the volume influx, because without that volume, the chart can look fabulous, but if that volume doesn't come in, it's not going to move. And if it does, it's going to be a false breakout, because it doesn't have the volume to sustain it. You need more buyers than sellers to move a stock up, right? That's the goal. So anyways, hopefully you find this video helpful. Please hit the like button and share this video so that more people can learn what to look for. That's my goal here. And I'm going to try to put out more content. So if you want to comment below some ideas from me, I'm going to try to do at least 1 or 2 stock market educational type videos a week when I see something in the market worth addressing, or maybe by your suggestions below on something you'd like to learn about, whether it's a term or, anything. If I see enough comments on the same subject, then I'll take the time to teach you it. So please feel free to leave me comments, and just because I don't get to it right away, guys, doesn't mean that I won't get to it. I have a very busy life and I do my best to try to help you spot stocks that I think are about to make big moves. And most importantly, guys, when you're looking for breakouts, you either want to look at something like this, where it's been coiling for a very long time, and this has been coiling for months. It's been channeling up and down in this same channel. Now, this is the same exact thing that I saw in the ticker GOCO, GOCO. Go back and look at that chart and see what it's done since I called it out. This is the same thing I see in GHSI, which is why I think it's going to get a very, very big move over the coming months. This is a swing trade. This is not something that you think you're going to, make bank on overnight, although the short interest is over 10%. I did just go look at that. So it could potentially get a short squeeze. It has. That's why we saw the bulls and the bears fighting so much today on it. It has the potential. That's for sure. But guys, I really think that this is going to make a significant move due to the amount of time that it's been in that channel. That's one thing that you can look for. And the other thing is the trend is your friend. If you're looking for breakout stocks to trade, you don't want to look for stocks that are in downtrends. And some of the stocks that I do talk about in these videos are heavily beat up stocks that I'm waiting for a reversal on. But guys, that can take time. I mean, look at this GHSI. If you had entered this way back when I first started watching it in March, your money just would have been sitting there channeling literally for all those months. And that's money that you could have been putting into other trades, which is what you want to try to avoid. Now, I have both an investment account and a trading account. Okay. So some of the stocks I talk about are investments and others are trades. GHSI for me is going to be a swing trade. I was waiting for that break of 18 to enter. I started my position. I want confirmation of a break above 21 because that's where I see the next resistance. And then I'll add to my position. Because guys, you don't have to start your position full on. You can add on the way up, just like you can take profits on the way up as well. Or on pull before it pulls back. And you can always, buy and sell, unless, of course, this is going to be in your long-term account and you don't want to have to deal with tax consequences. That's a different story. But if this is something you're trading, then my recommendation is to add on the way up in increments because you want those confirmations on those levels. So, to me, I'm seeing on this, I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm seeing that 18-cent break that we got today. My next level I'm looking at is 21. My next level above that is like between 25 and 26. So I'm going to say once it breaks 26, then after it breaks 26, we're pretty good to 31, then 40, and then we're like sailing. We're ripping up because there's a gap fill for quite some time, and I'll discuss that as we get further along because I want to get through those levels first. Let's look at it. We're only at 18 cents. We've already doubled our money if we get to 36 cents, right? And if you just entered today, if we get to 40 cents, then you doubled your money if you entered at 20 cents or you started your position there. But guys, like I said, if you go back further in the chart, if you want to look ahead, I'm going to make a video on GHSI specifically addressing this. So you can watch that as well. But more importantly in this video is to show you the volume to look for and the influx of buying pressure, which comes from the volume, and you'll see the candlesticks as they move up. But you're going to see where I started off on the 1-year chart is where you get your biggest moves from because that's the longer time frames, and that's what your institutions are watching too. So I expect institutional buying to start coming into the stock, guys. Anyways, that's the first thing that you want to look for when a stock seems to be making moves that you expect to break out is an increase in volume, as that volume spike is what you need in order to sustain that breakout. So as you can see by looking at the daily chart, look at how significant we've been stair-stepping up in volume. Tomorrow, my hopes is that this volume goes even higher. Now, I'm going to turn it back to the 5-minute chart for just a second because I want to show you. Look at here. Very, very little volume all day, right? We're just stair-stepping. And then all of a sudden, boom, around 2 p.m., that volume comes in and we spike. That's what we needed to sustain it. Now, unfortunately, we also had the bears come in with a lot of selling pressure. You can see that by this big red candle that pulled it down. And then it became a fight back and forth. And you can see that there was probably some FOMO buying in this buying, as well as the bears coming in trying to shoot it back down. And then you can see here it just teetered along the rest of the day. Now, towards the end of the day, we started seeing volume come back in. My expectation is tomorrow that we see a mass influx of volume come and let this continue to the upside. If we do not, guys, then this will fall back into the channel and be a false breakout. However, I don't think that's going to happen just because of where we are technically, but nothing's a guarantee, and that you should know in the stock market, nothing is a guarantee. So anyways, I added this part in, but now we're going to go to the main feature. Okay, guys, I want to use GHSI as a teaching opportunity. For those of you that follow me on Twitter, it was not an accident that I called this out today. I have been following this stock essentially since March. I believe that I went back on my Twitter to look at how long it's been, because I know it's been a long time. And it was March 8th that I had first tweeted about this. So guys, this is like something that obviously you wouldn't buy and hold for that period of time, because your money would just be sitting there doing nothing, because this literally has been consolidating literally up and down in this channel, which is why I told you once it hits that 18 cents, expect it to break out, which is exactly what it did. Now, I did go back and review, and I apologize, but one of my tweets was incorrect. I said it hadn't reached 20 cents since March 8th, or like 9 months, 10 months, something like that. I forget what the exact tweet was, because I've tweeted a lot today. However, what I did say was inaccurate, and I apologize, but I had literally expanded this chart. So when I pulled back to the 1 year, I was looking at the last month, like I'm showing you right now, and it was just under the 1 year chart, and that was not the case. Here, I'll pull this back up in just a second. I'll show you the exact 1 year chart, because it's kind of relevant to what I'm talking about and where our support and resistances are. So anyways, back in March when I first started following this, it had to have been that I saw it make this move up and get the gap fill. But I didn't tweet about it then, because that's what caught my attention. Now, I think within a couple of days, I started tweeting on it saying to watch around that March 8th area, because I expected it to go up. But the problem was that it went up and it just consolidated, came back down, just consolidated. Then you get this big volume spike that came in back in June, and I may have even tweeted about it that day. You know, it wasn't every single day that I was staring at the stock. I was periodically checking it, waiting for the breakout with an alarm set. Now, that day it hit 257, okay? So that's going to be a point of resistance that we're going to look for as this moves up. So keep that day in mind. And see that huge volume spike? But look, it fell right back down. Now, there's some things that did not happen here that are happening now, like the crossovers that I'm going to show you, which is why I think we're headed towards that direction. But they started getting closer. Well, guys, this literally consolidated for several more months. I may have mentioned it again when it broke through somewhere along this way. I don't know. But let's look at some of these candle highs that could be our possible resistance. You'll see 1945. This one in particular is 21 cents, and that's the one that I missed, and this happened in October. So in October, I thought we could be getting a breakout again. But that did not happen. We continued to consolidate. And trust me, this has been a lot of months of frustration of me just watching this and literally like having just alerts on, thinking that we're getting these breakouts that weren't happening, but something was different. And it's funny because this weekend I was reviewing charts and this is back on my radar. But again, we have 19.9 in October. Let's see. 19.9 again. Okay, so a few days in October, it's gone to this 19.9 level, okay? So 19.9, we have to remember, is a huge resistance, 17.46. But 18 has been where it's really struggled. Now, today I feel it's different, which is why I felt it was worth mentioning this morning. Because here's what I've been watching, guys. Now, I told you that I've been monitoring this stock, and I would check it at least once a week, okay? So I knew that this was starting to happen. And we had gotten a crossover way back. This is going back a month now. So this is probably happening somewhere in the beginning or the middle of November, right? We started seeing this cross under occur. And all these were channeling during this consolidation time, in, out, in, out. But here's the difference. See this red 200 SMA? Hopefully it's highlighting on your screen as I'm trying to make it highlight. If you look at the top line that's coming down, this was the big difference. It was getting closer and closer to these other moving averages, which is what I wanted to see. So when I saw last week how tightly wound these were, I'm like, a move should be coming anytime now. Now, guys, I have several different moving averages on my chart here. And that's because this is so close that I need to be able to see more of what's going on. If you look at this orange line here, it's the 10 SMA. Normally, I don't follow the 10 too much, but a lot of traders do. And because the 10 is the first usually to make that move. And look at where we're at right now with this 10. This 10 is almost touching the 200 SMA, guys. I think tomorrow, if we move up a little bit further, or if we have a pullback slightly, that guess what? This is going to pull either the 200 down a little bit more. Hopefully we get a move up tomorrow, which is what my expectation is. That's going to pull this 10 a little bit higher up and make this cross over the 200. That cross is very, very significant in this, and we will get a big move if that happens tomorrow. And that's what my expectation is. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, I expect it Friday. But that's why I called this out today, because I saw that these were getting closer and closer, and I'm like, you know, it may not be today, but something was telling me, gut feeling wise, that this is getting close, okay? Now, there's only one thing that does concern me. And it may not be too much of a concern right now because it's been trading sideways for so long. But see the RSI down here, this blue line is touching this green. This means it's getting close to that overbought area. Which is a problem because, overbought. Once it crosses above this green line, that's a problem because guess what? That means that there's too many buyers in here and it needs to cool off. But guys, if a stock starts to squeeze, which we're going to look at the Fintel information on this, I'm probably going to do a separate video because this one I want to use as people for our teaching lesson of what to look for. But I'll do another one and I'll show you what the Fintel is showing us. If we have a high short interest right now, which they've had many, many months to cover their shorts, so if they haven't, shame on them, seriously, and build positions. But this is getting, in this, I keep saying oversold, overbought area. So there's too many buyers, overbought. And forgive me if I'm saying something else. I barely slept last night and I overslept this morning because of it. And my whole day has just been like kind of screwed up because of that. But anyways, when you see your RSI getting high like this, a lot of times you'll see a pullback to cool it off. However, it can go days of being in this overbought territory, especially when it hasn't run. And it's been many, many months, guys, of this not doing anything. So I would expect a massive break as this starts to move up because it's just been, the longer something, coils like that and consolidates, the bigger the move tends to be. I mean, there's no guarantees, but that just tends to be what happens. Now, go down to the MACD and I want to show you something too. So I knew last week that this red line crossed above the green line on my MACD, and that's a very bullish signal. I was waiting for it to move and this wave to cross over. And look at what it's doing today. We're now trending on and above this blue wave, which is very, very bullish because we want it to stay above that, right? We want an uptrend. And look at what we've done. We've been going up, 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 up slowly. I mean, this is a penny stock, so it moves very slowly, unfortunately, or it's become a penny stock. If you go back and you look at the 5-year chart on this, you can see that at one time, this stock was trading in the $20 range. Look at how badly beat up this stock has been, guys. So I believe there's a huge, huge opportunity coming for us. Those that are patient will be rewarded, and I feel that I have been more than patient with this stock. And then see this when it had its move up here? It kind of, this RSI was up above, right? In and out for quite some time. So it can go there, or I also like this. If you look at the RSI, sometimes I like to look at this like chart patterns. It has an inverse head and shoulders on the RSI. Do we finally break above that tomorrow? I think so. That's my expectation in this tomorrow. But again, I wanted to use this as a teaching lesson to show you what to look for. Now, here's the 4-hour chart. I also use this chart to show me my smaller moves and what my expectations are, guys. And I know that this can be confusing when you see all these different lines, but this is what I like to use to trade normally. This green is my 13, and this purple, this one, for some reason, it's the darker purple. This purple, the dark purple line, is my 48, okay? So my 13 crossed above my 48 way back here, November 25th, and I saw that things were getting tighter, right, on the 4-hour chart, and we stayed up above it. Look at the volume that came into this today compared to how it's been. It was very significant, and I do believe that we're going to continue trending higher. Everything's pointing up. Everything's pointing in the right direction. If I go to today and I look at the 5-minute chart, you can see that we got a crossover very early in the morning on that 13 and that 48. We crossed above. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of volume. Then all of a sudden, boom, this afternoon, it just broke out, right? And I was like, son of a gun, I knew it. And look at the end of the day here on this 5-minute. Our RSI is curling up, bullish. Our RSI, well, it is starting to curl to the upside, and it's kind of like flat right now in the after hours, but it's above 50, bullish, and the MACD, this red line, has crossed above the green on the 5-minute chart, and it's above this blue wave. All of this is very, very bullish, and it looks like it's going to trend up, guys. So the 5-minute, the smaller time frames are going to tell you what your immediate moves are, but the larger time frames are going to give you your bigger moves, and we are very, very bullish there. So anyways, I hope that this helps you guys to look at some technical analysis and to see what I'm looking at and why. When I tweeted that out, yeah, I'd like to say that, you know, I'm like a mind reader, and I knew that after, like, you know, several months of this trading just sideways, that today was the day it was going to break out. Now, guys, you know, part of it was I had a gut feeling, but the other part was technically it was ready to, and it was just a matter of it. Is it today or is it tomorrow or the next day? I wasn't sure, but I went with my gut and said it's time to mention it. So those of you that follow me on Twitter and saw this and got in on it, congrats. Those of you that haven't gotten in on it yet, this is just starting. In my opinion, we are going to see a very, very nice move in this stock. So keep an eye on it, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found that this information helpful. If you did or didn't, please comment below your thoughts, and that way I can help you going forward, because I really think that I stink at teaching, but I'm trying because I really want to show you what to look for, and so that you guys can grow as traders and not just follow moves, but learn how to find the moves. That's my goal. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.